What is up? Today we are here at Universal Studios and we're going to do something I'm so excited about. We are doing a lights on house tour here at Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm so excited. I want to show you everything that I learned and kind of give you some tips and why you should probably come out here and do it too. The Halloween Horror Nights Lights On Tour is a behind the scenes up close and personal tour that you can see looking at the houses that they have on display for that current Halloween year. Now, during these houses, the lights are on and you get to see things up close and personal that you wouldn't see as you are screaming your head off through the houses. To get to your meetup spot, you're going to meet in the former Blue Man Group soundstage, which is Soundstage 18. Once you get there, you will wait for your group. If you're not going to be in a group that of your friends. Me, I was on a solo trip, so I waited for the rest of the people to come in my group. And then there was where I met my hostess, Kelly, which she was amazing. We were able to get these free lanyards for our tour. But before we went on, we were told that we were not allowed to take photos in selected areas. We were not allowed to take videography at all. And whatever photos that we did take, they would tell us when it was okay. So unfortunately, you don't get to see all of the houses in their completeness, just the select rooms that they allowed us to take photos of. Now, before we get into the house tours for today, I wanted to give you a difference between the 3 house tour and the 6 house tour. Just know for both of them, you do not get to pick what houses you get to see. They are predetermined by the Universal Orlando team members. Now, for the 3 house tour, it usually lasts about 3 hours and it starts at about $79.99. And on this house tour, you get to explore the Universal monsters, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, Casefiles, Unearthed, Legendary Truth. And on the 6 house tour, this starts at about $129.99. Lunch is included from what I saw in my research. And on this tour, you get to explore Welcome to Scary, Horror in the Heartland, Puppet Theater, Captive Audience, The Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin, The Haunting of Hill House, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and HHN Icons Captured. One thing you should note about the tours is that they do not include your Halloween Horror Nights ticket admission, nor do they include your admission to Universal Orlando. So once you are done with that tour, your guided team member will escort you outside of the park. And if you're staying there, you just show them your Universal Orlando ticket and then they'll escort you back into the park once they have let everyone else go. Now let's talk about the good stuff, the houses. The first one up is Universal Monsters, Bride of Frankenstein Lives. You enter the tower ruins where Frankenstein's monster pulled the lever to bring down the walls and destroy him and his bride. The Bride of Frankenstein does everything she can to bring him back to life by any means necessary. So you'll see her going through a lot of measures, messing with vampires, to make sure she can bring him back to life. This is the material that you see looking like embers at nighttime when you're walking through the castle. They're lit up all around the castle and they were created by the Universal Orlando design team. Right here is Dracula's ring. And feel free to pause the video to look at these photos. I know I'm kind of going really fast. Something you should note that this house is taking place over years. So you'll see in the beginning is right when the incident happened with Frankenstein's monster. But as she's getting all his appendages together and draining the Brides of Dracula. This is all happening over decades, not just in 1 month or a couple of weeks or a couple of days. This is a couple of decades. This is Larry Talbot's cane from the Wolfman, a little Easter egg. And that's me getting a selfie with Frankenstein's monster. And this window is reused from the Gothic house from a previous Halloween Horror Nights event. This is one of the final scenes of this house, and this is the part where Frankenstein's monster comes to life, and you can see all of the brides of Dracula all around. Now, the HHN Icons capture was not a part of my tour, but because it was right next door to the Tooth Fairy, we were able to get a photo of the outside facade, which I was so happy about. You can see the word Icons at the top of the facade, and you can also see the different totems of the HHN Icons throughout. It was just an incredible facade. I love this. You can get a closer look of the HHN Icons in the Tribute Store at Universal Studios. Now we are in Soundstage 24 to check out the Tooth Fairy, which is where all children must give up their baby teeth to these goblin-like fairies. The Halloween Horror Nights team came up with their own little fears from childhood to dream up this kind of storyline. They used elements from Mardi Gras to help them create this West Horn manor. And when you go through the first room, which is the little boy's room, you will see the same bed that they used in the Exorcist house. Also, there are building blocks on the floor in his room, which were from the Poltergeist house. Unfortunately, we could not videotape that room or get photos of that room. This is a painting of Charles Gray, one of the lead HHN designers. And you'll notice this decay on the walls as you go through the house, which represents tooth decay. And the further you get into the house, the more you see this decay. This is the poor butler. When you're in the library, you'll notice that there's a painting of a woman who was previously seen in the Ghost Town HHN house from, I believe it was 26. We are now in the kitchen where the servants would ring these kitchen bells to let the family know that dinner was ready. A fun thing to note is that each bell has one of the design team members' names on there. We are now in the servants' quarter, and you will still see that the tooth decay is getting really, really intense in the house. This is Mr. Westhorn's pocket watch, the master of the house, that appears to be in the servant's quarter, which is kind of letting you know he had a little thing going on. You know, he was cheating on the wife. And you can see the jaws of the fairy's victim in these walls right here. Upon exiting the house, you can see that we are on page number 130 to represent the 30th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights. As we begin to make our way over to the final house, you can see Boris Shuster's name right there. It's a little Easter egg at Universal Studios that is always there. He is going to play a main role in this next house. Also, the Kitty Cat Club will be playing a main role too, so I'm so excited. As you enter this house, you'll notice this date, October 25th, 1991 at 6 p.m. That is the first day and time that Universal Halloween Horror Nights opened its gates with Fright Nights. We are then met with a new character named Tinfoil, which is the play on tinfoil hat, because he's supposed to be some type of conspiracist who finds Boris Shuster's information, and he is just trying to go through it and trying to figure out what is all this. He's trying to put the pieces together. So with him doing that, we're going to go through the whole story of Boris Shuster, his private investigation. What did he come up with? What were the stories that he created? And there are a lot of Easter eggs in this house, so you're going to be seeing a lot of photos, so pay attention to them, pause the video, and just try to find as much details as you can. You're going to find each of these book covers in each section of the house, so definitely pay attention as Tinfoil tries to get all this information together, to get all the totems together, to do something crazy. Now we're officially entering into Boris Shuster's life to kind of flesh out his background and his story. You can see the reference to the Kitty Cat Club here and also Finnegan's. Pretty cool. Now we're going into the mannequin area, which is really creepy. And as you can see, there is one of the totems right there, but you wouldn't probably see it at nighttime. Also, a pro tip is whenever you're in a room with a whole bunch of characters that you can't tell which one is real, just look at the feet. Most of the time, a real person's feet will be moving because, you know, you can't really just be standing there for still for so long. Here's another totem. And now we're going to enter the Kitty Cat Club, which is what you saw when we were walking on that pathway within the park at Universal Studios. And there's Boris Shuster right there. And we have our other totem right here. Now this room is very unique because this is where a live actress actually sits there and sings while you're going through the maze. It is like pretty cool. This is the first time at Universal has done it. And on the stage, she has a lot of little triggers that she presses to make something kind of crazy happen, which you can see up close right here. This is Thunder the Pomeranian, which has been in a house at HHN for almost every year. I thought that was pretty cool. And as we in this beautiful house, you can see it says New Jersey, October 31st, 1991 at 11:59 p.m. because that is when the last day of the very first Halloween Horror Nights, aka Fright Nights, took place and ended. So be sure to stick around, check out all of the HHN design across the theme park. Don't forget to check out the Tribute Store. It is absolutely incredible. It is a must. Even if you're not into Halloween Horror Nights and you don't plan on going to the event, go to the Tribute Store. And until next time, happy park hopping hipsters.